In November and December of 2013, Mary Coelho, accordion bookmaker, watercolor painter, member of the Northeast Watercolor Society, and author, exhibited her artwork celebrating our new origin story, the story of the evolutionary universe, at the Friends meeting in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Thomas Berry called it the new story, and others call it the great story. The exhibit includes accordion books and paintings about the new story, and also a number of realistic watercolor paintings that celebrate the beauty of Earth. While this video is about the new story paintings and accordion books, the exhibit included a number of colorful watercolor paintings of scenes from Europe and New England. Some of these paintings that were part of the exhibit are included at the end of this video. The new story wall featured a number of Mary's accordion books. Additional paintings of the new story include For the Beauty of the Earth, The Magnificent Cosmos, and The Great Oak. It was almost 5 years ago that Mary attended a workshop on bookmaking. To her delight, she learned about book accordions and recognized that they would be a great way to depict step by step in summary fashion the unfolding story of the evolutionary universe, but also to have all of the paintings and sequences visible all at once, since the past events are central to appreciating, recognizing, and celebrating our Earth and its many beings today. This is the first accordion book that Mary made. Some of the accordion books are about the evolutionary story itself. Others are celebrations of the implications and revelations of the story. There are quotations printed along the side of the accordion book that speak to the remarkable implications and revelations of our new origin story. Here is an accordion book that tells the evolutionary story in very brief summary form. Some details of the story, told by small paintings, have been inserted in the sequence. The Great Flaring Forth, or Big Bang, occurred, scientists now tell us, 13.8 billion years ago. This can't be pictured, nor can the formation, very early in the story, of the simple elements hydrogen and helium. Galaxies formed within 500 million years. Stars form in the nebula, or gas clouds within galaxies. Within the life cycle of stars in the galaxies and in exploding supernova, the elements in our bodies and those that make up the Earth were created. Our Sun, a star in the Milky Way galaxy, formed 5 billion years ago. The Earth coalesced 4.6 billion years ago as it circled the young star. This marble paper suggests the early molten Earth. Life appeared quite early in the Earth's history. Here are some early bacteria. An important evolutionary step was the creation of the eukaryote, a cell with a nucleus. This design suggests early multicellular organisms, which formed only after photosynthesis made available the energy needed for the increasing complexity. These paintings of fish, frogs, ferns, turtles, butterflies, and birds remind us of the long story over the past 700 million years of the complexification of life on Earth and the creation of the great diversity of life now living on this Earth. One of the book accordions ends with flowers, and another with a little boy, although one species is not to be singled out or separated out from the interdependent complex of life that forms the living systems of the Earth. We are deeply nested within the story and the Earth's ecosystems. 2 accordion books and several paintings are about the creativity of the universe. The evolutionary story is one of both creativity and destruction. The words on the side of the accordion book of these paintings are a quotation from Thomas Berry. Everything comes forth out of the intrinsic creativity of the universe. Some of us were taught that because science had identified some predictable physical laws, the future would one day be entirely predictable, negating any depth of meaning and purpose for our lives. The evolutionary story shows us the future is not predictable, although there are reliable laws that we can count on. This accordion with these paintings has the title, The Unfurling of Surprise. The beauty and diversity of the natural world certainly shows the astounding creativity. How could a tiger be so beautiful? And the shape and slow movements of a praying mantis do surprise us and catch our attention. This painting, The Ongoing Creativity of the Cosmos, includes a piece of quilting and some crochet work to affirm that through these simple acts of creativity, we are participating in the creativity of the earth. In the 1920s, when matter was examined from the perspective of the very small, physicists were shocked and disturbed by their discoveries. They did not find any extremely small solid particulate piece of matter that could no longer be divided. Instead, they discovered that matter, although often highly structured into long-lasting forms, consists of 99.99% empty space. The bottom had dropped out of long-held materialistic assumptions that the physical world is made up only of solid atoms and their predictable interactions. The particles within atoms have been discovered to be very small knots of energy, compressed energy events that sometimes are particle-like, although with no dimensions, and sometimes spread out in space as waves. In the 1940s, physicists measured the non-visible, seemingly empty space and found it to be infinitely full of energy. The word plenum is sometimes used to describe this absolute fullness that is intrinsic to all of being. The yellow marbled paper behind the tree and Celtic knot indicates the presence of the non-visible, energetic reality. Rumi, the 13th century Sufi mystic, knew that everything has its roots in the unseen world. One of Mary's interests, and one of the themes of her painting and of the exhibit, is that the discoveries by scientists of vast spaciousness within the physical world are opening the door to integration with the world of spiritual experience. We ask in the context of our new origin story, what is the source of numinous experience? The type of inner felt experience known within the body and known within the natural world that is central to many religious traditions. Might not the source of experiences of the sacred be this vast energetic within? Is it within us and within all of the earth? This cannot be proven nor clearly identified, as we have entered a realm where we cannot make objective measurements. The physicist and author David Peat observes, science's movement into matter subverted itself. The negation of the sacred depths of the world by many reductive scientists is being fundamentally undermined from within science itself, just as that negation has long been challenged and questioned by centuries-long experiential testimony and witness of individuals within many religious traditions. Now, because of the scientific breakthroughs, it can be proposed that numinous experiences and our hopes of finding and integrating these experiences of the sacred within the earth, within our bodies, and the entire natural world are being realized. While this painting of a tree of life was not in the exhibit, it has been exhibited in other shows. The geometric design within the trunk of the tree allows an interior light to come through the tree, suggesting the sacred presence within and around the tree. Mary has a number of accordions and paintings about the theme that the discoveries of science are now offering support for an integration of the sacred source within the physical world. Thomas Berry wrote, "The natural world is the primary manifestation of the divine." Emily Dickinson states in a very short poem, "Not revelation 'tis that waits, but our unfurnished eyes." The words by Thomas Berry and Brian Swim on the side of the accordion with these paintings have a similar sentiment. They wrote, "The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to read the story taking place all around us." Can it be that the elements in our bodies were really created in stars billions of years ago? Do our origins go back into the stars? Are the cells in our bodies, although not these particular bacteria, actually the direct descendants of the early cells of the earth? Can we come to see the human person as a self-aware form of the earth? Is there indeed an energetic numinous reality within the earth and its many beings? In the light of our new story, Emily Dickinson's poem is certainly true. We do need unfurnished eyes. We are invited by the new story to enter into important new ways of seeing. We need to question our unexamined assumptions, many of them almost unconscious, and read the story taking place all around us. Mary once saw a group of fragile, nearly transparent small hydra growing on a piling submerged under the seawater near Woods Hole, Massachusetts. Mary observed that, although the hydra with their small and transparent bodies seem small, fragile, and helpless since they are not able to move and seek food, were actually healthy and flourishing submerged within the seawater as they captured food particles brought by the sea. While living integral to the sea, these hydra thrive very well. They can't be understood as distinct beings separate from the sea. All of life has this interdependence in many ways. Mary's Celtic knot paintings speak to this interweaving of life on Earth. The female figure emerging in this painting represents this recovery. Embracing our origins and the recognition of our interdependence with the natural world are a part of a recovery of wisdom. Thomas Berry observed that we will enter the future as a single sacred society or perish on the way. As we embrace the revelations of our new story, we may find the confidence, the wisdom, and the creativity to address the many crises facing humanity, particularly the threat of the loss of a sustainable future. The smokestacks remind us we cannot continue to fill the air with an uncontrolled amount of carbon dioxide emissions, nor pollute the waterways and the seas. As we experience the sacred depth and tell a new story that affirms the presence of the sacred, we can come to value and care profoundly what we are part of and find a place of profound belonging. Here are a few of Mary's realistic watercolors. This painting of Mount Katahdin in Maine was done at the camp once owned by Frederick Church. Here are several paintings with reflections in water. The first was painted at Venice. All of the rest are from New England. Here are some more colorful, celebrative paintings. Unforgettable Fall Beauty, The Abundance of Summer, and Saint Jean de Luz on the southern coast of France.